Give a round of applause for Mr. Nate Wyckoff. You guys don't have to clap. It's okay. We're going to keep it really informal. We're going to be like family. That's what my doctor said last week when he was burning my penis off. I'm glad you're laughing. No, seriously, it turns out that I was diagnosed with genital warts. And, ooh, thanks. That was my response. No, and seriously though, when he said that, because I mean, I've been like in a monogamous relationship for 10 years, my beautiful wife's here somewhere, I can't see her. This is not the first she's hearing of it, it's okay. My first question to my doctor was, okay, what else can we call it? Because genital warts is the worst combination of words in the English language. But, so I was kind of like, he's like, well, you know, we call it HPV. And I was like, way better, way better. If you tell somebody that you got HPV, it sounds like you got certified by the weekend class. Right? Whereas if you say I got genital warts, it sounds like I was cursed by a witch. I was kind of freaking out, as I'm wont to do when learning I have a disease, and he said, listen, it's really not that big a deal. Like, think of it this way. You have little bumps on your genitalia at the worst. How's that going to change your life? And I stopped and I thought, I was like, well, my wife can read my dick in Braille. That's a little different. Okay. You know, he's like, really, it's not a big deal. In fact, a lot of people have HPV and they're carriers. They don't even know. They never have an issue, and a lot of people just have one time and it goes away. And he said some people are estimating that up to 40%, I like making eye contact while talking about genital warts, it's really good. Up to 40% of Americans have it. And we just don't hear about it because they're not stand-up comedians. And he said we should treat it. And I said, okay, how? And he goes, cryotherapy. And that's what he called it. What I call it is a bris. A lot more accurate. A lot more accurate. Basically, they use a liquid nitrogen gun on you, which only looks a little exactly like a blowtorch. And he gets ready, and he says, you know, this isn't as bad as it seems. This is actually what a lot of women get to treat age spots. The bad news is the blinding pain, but the good news is I have the dick of a 14-year-old. I gotta wait until I get to maturity now. I'm not looking at my hand because I have my notes written there. I'm looking at my hand because I changed the order and now I have scribbles on my hand. But it's just a surreal experience in general because, you know, I went to the doctor expecting not to have that happen, and I'm standing there with my pants around my ankles while the doctor's looking at my crotch going, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And it's weird, because usually when my pants are down, I'm the one going, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. And we actually kind of traced it back, and it turns out that I probably got this 20 years ago. 20 years ago. And that's crazy to me that you can have something, a disease, and it shows up like 20 years later. Like none of your friends are going to show up to your apartment, walk in and go, well, turns out I'm not a good dancer. I just have polio. Like, that's not, you can think about it, it's okay. I can tell that joke here, it does not fly in India, I tell you. No, and I understand that talking about HPV like it's a big deal, it's really not, especially on the scale of STDs. Like, you're not going to be like, I'm living with genital warts, and they're like, you're so brave. Like, keep fine. That doesn't happen, right? It's like HIV, living with that, that's a big deal, okay? Like, that's some street cred. I think of it like, it is. I think of it like, if I were, like, living with HIV is like going to prison and coming out with 3 teardrops. Like, you've been through some shit, okay? Like, in that case, having HPV is like spending a night in jail and coming out with a Tweety bird tattooed on your ass, right? Like, no one gives you street cred, and everyone you show it to is not gonna wanna be your friend. That wasn't the end of it either. The doctor's appointment, I'm buttoning up my pants, I'm thinking, I'm gonna call my wife and cry for a while, and after answering questions, I guess, I don't know, the doctor was confused as well. And he said this in closing, you also should lose 40 pounds. I was like, okay, great, well, I'm pretty sure we shed a few just now. So, but no, he's like, you need to lose 40 pounds if you're getting to the age when it's actually a health risk. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it seriously. And I'm gonna tell you guys this, so the next time you see me, you're not surprised when I'm missing an arm. Because that's the only way it's gonna work. It's not totally true. I actually am trying to lose. I started the keto diet. Is anybody here familiar with that? Yeah, we're an OC. I figured there'd be a few. It's basically you eat like no carbs, no sugar, and your body somehow decides to burn fat because there's nothing else for it to live for. And I was doing it for like a couple weeks, and my mom, who's really into it, called me up and said, "How you doing, honey?" And I'm like, "I have no energy, like none." And she goes, "Trust me, in a week you will have more energy than you know what to do with." I said, "That's a problem, because if I had energy right now, I'd use it to kill myself." And it has been working though. I've lost 10 pounds. And I've been playing with that number. When I say 8, 15, I see which 10 seems to be the sweet spot for the next one. But no, I really did lose 10 pounds, and it's fascinating to do that because I didn't realize that's how much my will to live weighed. I'm going to leave you guys with one little aside because I find that that's a little sad note to end on. But I have really weird friends. I do have friends. They're just a little weirder than me, so I find that I don't hang out with them that much. And here's an example of why they're a little stranger is, a few years ago, you might remember this, in Canada on a bus, a young man killed his seatmate and then proceeded to eat him on the bus. I'm glad I have you with me, okay? Now I heard this, and being a bus traveler myself, I thought I needed to share it with my friend instantly, because that's shareable news. And I called him up and I said, "Lee, a guy killed someone and ate him on the bus." Without missing a beat, this is exactly what he said. "He ate a guy on the bus? I wouldn't eat a sandwich on the bus." My name's Wyckoff. See you next time.